intro, yeah, and then we're off.
Brilliant.
Okay, so we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Lions Lounge Lockdown, episode 61. Barry Hayles. Barry, thanks for joining us, mate.
Hi, Dan.
How are you, mate? You
Thanks
good?
for having me.
No, mate, pleasure to have you on. You're a player that I really, really liked. And I've got some good personal memories from your time at the club, although it was only short. You had a big impact. And am I right in suggesting that you're still playing?
I am still playing a bit. I'm at Windsor. I'm player coach at Windsor now. So, I've been playing the last few games now. I'd rather be, well, I say rather, but I do still enjoy playing. But, I'd rather coach the youngsters and try and get them to improve, really.
Yeah, what division are they in?
There's step 5 in the combined counties.
Still a good standard, that. You're 50 now, 50 years old.
50, yeah. I was 50
wow.
Back then, yeah.
Showing me up, mate. We've missed out vets. You could probably still jump on super vets if you wanted to later on.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I still enjoy playing. I still enjoy that side of it as well.
That is unbelievable, mate. It's fair play to you. Is that 33 years? I worked out earlier. You started in 1989.
Yeah, roughly about that. Yeah.
Still scoring, still notching.
Still scoring. Yeah. I've scored this season already. So yeah, and it's been it's been a
brilliant
start.
So he was actually born in Millwall territory, born in Lambeth.
That's right. Yeah. Lambeth Hospital. Yeah.
Lambeth Hospital. Was you a Millwall fan?
I was a Tottenham fan. I don't know why. I like the way Tottenham played when I was a kid. So I liked the way Tottenham played. So they were my team, and I've stuck with them ever since.
Fair enough, mate. You did join the club 2004, 2 years till 2006, 55 games, 18 goals. You joined from Sheffield United. I was looking through your Wikipedia earlier. You pretty much scored goals wherever you went. Great at Stevenage. Scored a lot of goals, onto Bristol Rovers, a lot of goals. Then you joined Sheffield United. You was only there for a very short space of time, and then you joined us. So obviously things didn't work out for you up there.
Yeah. Me and the manager, we had a bit of a bust up, and then he dropped me the next game, and then 2 days later I got called. We was playing QPR. So we travelled down from Sheffield for the game, and then Warnock pulled me and said,
"Oh, it's Warnock."
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And then he pulled me and said, there's been interest, and he knew that I lived in Beckenham. He knew the Millwall training ground was around the corner. So, and he said, "Well, I think you should take the chance." Which I thought at the time, I said, "I've just signed." So, and I haven't scored yet, and I think we're about 3 or 4 games in, and he dropped me, and then things turned a bit sour, really.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. He always pops up, Warnock. So you was living in Beckenham at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, right, nice. So, yes, you know what? I know you probably didn't get on with him, but at least he didn't leave you hanging on in the resis or something. You went, "Look, there's an opportunity here. Go and join Millwall."
Yeah, and Dennis and Ray came to my hotel room that Monday. I remember the Monday night, and we had a chat, and then they were like, "Well, I think it makes sense." And so, and it was the year after Millwall got to the cup final, so I had to make the choice that night, because I wouldn't have been qualified to play in Europe if I didn't sign the next day.
Oh, right, but you didn't play in Europe, did you?
No, because I think my second game in, I cracked 2 ribs against.
I saw you'd signed, and I saw you missed out the Ferencvaros stuff, and I thought,
I was gutted. I was so gutted about it. Yeah, I cracked a couple of ribs in that.
So you didn't travel?
No, I wasn't involved. I was just about breathe.
Fair enough. You signed for the club, I say, under Dennis Wise and Ray Wilkins. How did they convince you to join Millwall? I suppose you lived in Beckenham. Probably didn't need that much convincing, did you?
No, I didn't need much. It was a case of not being wanted at one place and being wanted at another. And like I say, they came to my hotel room and we had a chat on that Monday night. And I knew once I slept on it, my mind was going to be made up. But then Warnock went in the press and said I was homesick, and couldn't play up north, and that was a bit sour because I wasn't homesick. I was just settling in.
Just out of favour, yeah.
Yeah.
He went with the old homesickness story, did he? Fair enough. Right, okay, so you joined a club. I say a club that was, it was a bit of a strange time because we were sort of on the up, having just got to the cup final, having just missed out on the playoffs. But then as a result of that, we'd lost a lot of our squad. They'd all moved on. Tim Cahill, Stephen Reed, Tony Warner for, to bigger clubs. So what did Wisey say to you? How did he sell it to you? What did he say?
He more or less said it was a rebuilding, and he said we finished quite well, reaching the cup final. So he was breathing the confidence, and he said I'm putting together a really good squad, which he did.
Yeah, he did. You know what? Because I remember obviously back to those times, and it became a bit of a shit show. But that was actually a little bit later down the line. Like we actually had a good, strong, experienced, aggressive squad, didn't we?
Squad, yes, exactly. And we was. I remember we was. I think when we was seventh or eighth, and I remember Wisey saying, if I can get the chairman to get us a couple more players, I reckon we can make the playoffs and push on.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the chairman didn't quite back him, and we kind of finished. I don't know. I think we finished 9th or 10th. And so
yeah, we finished 10th. I think that's sort of where the chairman didn't back him. That resulted in him leaving. The chairman left, and then that's later down the line. But when you came to the club, I checked this out earlier. When you came to the club, there was already 8 strikers on the books, right? Ben May, Bob Peters, Mark McCammon, Stephen Moore, John Sutton. Reading this list, I can see why he's put you in. Scott Dobie weren't there long. Big Danny Deach and Neil Harris.
Yeah.
So did he say, you have to fight for your place here, or did he say the first 4 we read out of shit, so you'll be all right? But you played up front with Big Dan, didn't you, quite a lot? You had a good partnership. He's been on the show.
Me and Deach and that, yeah. We met each other as well. But we had a fairly strong, like I said, aggressive team, and everybody knew their roles, and we were winning games and doing well.
Yeah, what was it like in that dressing room? Like, I see there's other characters like Tony Craig and Alan Dunn. They'd have been younger then as well, but with Muscat in there, Wisey.
Yeah. Like you say, we had a good aggressive bunch that knew how to take care of ourselves and knew how to win games and see out games. And there's always ups and downs and that, but yeah, we got through that and we pushed on.
Good, mate. Good squad in that first season. So in my memory is obviously not correct, but what you remember about 4 it completely capitulated after that FA Cup final season, but he definitely didn't. 2004, 2005, your first season, 29 games, 12 goals. You remember your debut?
No. I thought it was the Ipswich game when I cracked my ribs, but
okay. So when you came back, I think the first goal you scored, which I had marked as your debut because obviously I've missed your injury at the beginning, was against Gillingham.
Yeah, I remember that goal. Yeah.
A welcome goal for fit again Barry Hayles, his first since signing from Sheffield United. Hayles was making a much belated home debut. He was also involved in the build-up to Millwall's second. Jody Morris with a wonderful pass to find Alan Dunn. And like Hayles, a first Lions goal for the former trainee Dunn, who was sent off in his last match.
I put it on social media today. You might not have seen it. You scored some fucking great goals.
Some decent goals, yeah. I like to think.
You scored headers. You scored all sorts. Outside the box.
Yeah.
Do you think it was like a sort of a? You played better. I mean, in them days, I suppose it was predominantly like 2 strikers. But did you feel like you and Big Dan did the business? I thought a lot of your goals. He set you up.
He had the Harry Billy, and he had a great touch as well. So yeah. Well, I think we and often set up each other for most of our goals. So yeah, it was a pleasure playing with him. Yeah.
You said at the start there of the show about Ray Wilkins and Wisey. In my notes, I've got all Wisey and Muscat because I know Muscat wasn't officially, he was a player, but he seemed like he was more involved on that side of things. How did that dynamic work with Wisey, Wilkins, and Muscat?
Oh no, it's brilliant. It worked perfect because on the pitch, Muscat was our leader, and we listened and we took on board. and we knew how to, like I say, see out certain games and get results, which was the main aim.
Yeah, one game that might be very difficult to see out. Understandably so. League Cup, Liverpool home. Do you remember them coming to the Den?
Yes, I do remember. Yeah.
That's the game I think where Muscat fucking grabbed Milan Barish, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah. I think yeah. See, I remember we had Birmingham in the cup as well, and we went to penalties, and that was in midweek as well. I remember.
Yeah, well, actually, I checked that one out earlier because I rarely win penalty shootouts. We're a little bit like England with penalty shootouts, but we actually won that penalty shootout. You scored as well.
Yeah. So that was pleasing, definitely. Yeah.
And in that first season as well, you're always a hero, mate, if you score against West Ham. We beat West Ham 1-0 at home. I think Dicho scored that day. Was it like playing that London derby?
Oh, I loved it. And being having a dislike for West Ham as well, as much as the Millwall fans, it was lovely scoring away at West Ham at Upton Park.
Yeah,
and that was that was my highlight of my Millwall career.
Yeah, do you know what? I was at that game and I remember I jumped up and I just think I'm a big lump, but I've just travelled. I've gone, and I've landed about 3 rows further down on my feet. I was in the concourse, but really, I put it on social media, a really good finish, and then Muscat played you in.
Yeah,
he come over, he grabbed you around, and he was screaming in your face. You remember what he was saying?
I can't remember.
You probably couldn't hear it. But he's like so happy when he sort of grabbed you and he's going, "Fuck man," all in your face.
Yeah. That was definitely my.
But yeah, big moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, scoring at Upton Park. Yeah.
Most definitely, yeah.
Rio Coker. This time West Ham give it up to Kevin Muscat. Dave Livermore wide left. Hayles tries to go through a gap. He gets there ahead of Walker. Hayles, and he's put Millwall in front. 11.5 minutes on the clock. A lovely through ball, and Barry Hayles from the acutest of angles has gone round Walker and put the ball into the back of the net. I thought Danny Dickio's pass was a little bit too heavy, but Hayles made a lovely run, and the pressure is on the West Ham now. Millwall in front, Barry Hayles. Millwall fans away to their left are going absolutely mad. Here we see again Muscat on the ball. Measured pass forward. I thought it was a little bit heavy, but Hayles got there, rounded Walker, and from the acutest of angles, Dino, Millwall had the lead.
Another game I remember is because I was about 23. Well, Sam as well. You came to Millwall when you was 32 years old. I mean, in the greater picture of your career is actually, you went on to play to 50, but for a lot of people, that's quite late in their career, 32. Yeah. But no, you done well. So then you, as I said, another game that I remember fondly. I was 24. I just moved out, just got me flat. It was over Christmas. My mate said, "We're going to go Derby away." I said, "Yeah, go on in, I'll come. Get me away from the old woman for a day." So we drove up there through all the little towns and the lanes. I don't know why we didn't go on a motorway, but we went sort of scenic route. And you scored a hat-trick. And my mate at the time, his little brother, who's now probably about 30, they used to let him put a bet on, right? And I'll have £1 on Barry Hayles' hat-trick.
Oh, no.
And they couldn't tell him how much he'd won. They didn't say because he was little. They went, I've had to keep the rest for when he's older, but we told him. And he came in, mate, 3-0 at Derby that day.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I love that story. Love that. Absolutely brilliant.
Honestly, they couldn't tell him how much he'd won. He went, I can't tell him he's won that much. He's like 7.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
I think they give him a tenner.
Brilliant.
Put the rest in the college fund.
Say again.
I said, put the rest in the college fund.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, talk us through that day, mate. What do you remember about that one?
I remember. I think Deej setting me up for one of them, and naturally, if I remember right, it was a ball knocked. I think it was a free kick knocked to the far post, and Deej he knocked it back across. So I think I remember that one, and I remember David Livermore going down the left wing and whipping across and me getting across the defender. and it going in the far post. I think that was the hat-trick goal. So yeah, no, that was a brilliant day personally, but for the club as well. So yeah,
and for my mate's little 7-year-old brother. But
yeah.
what was it? Do you know what? A lot of your goals as well. I was looking back, and Liver's making powering runs through the middle. He was a bit of an underrated player, Livermore, wasn't he? I felt at Millwall.
Yeah, he was. He was, like I say, a powerful runner with the ball. And he knew when to release it and when to play people in. But yeah, he was definitely one of our top players.
Yeah, and of course, another player very relevant to him because he was his assistant at Millwall and then on to Cardiff after that. And now at Gillingham, Neil Harris, a fellow striker at the club. When I think back, I think you didn't play at the same time as Harris at Millwall, but obviously you did overlap each other.
I think we played. I think we did. Play a couple of games. I think we did. Yeah. I love being around Chopper. You could learn a lot of things from fellow strikers and his movement was brilliant.
Who was you close to, like in the squad outside of? Did you get on with the boys outside of the?
Yeah, I got on with all the boys because we had a good social group.
Yeah,
and that's what kept us tight knit. So yeah, we had Jody Morris as well. Kevin
Jody Morris,
yeah. Marvin Elliott, Deech,
Sweeney.
Danny was coming through. Peter Sweeney as well. Yeah. So we had a good tight knit group.
A few nights out in Bridge Bar, I bet.
We can say we popped in there a few times. Yeah.
Saying that, you just reminded me. You said Jody Morris, and it's brought me back to Neil Warnock. Was you involved in that game at the Den? Where
I was, yeah. Because I saw the videos. I didn't realise. So it was funny enough. It was the time when I just left Sheffield United.
Yeah.
And Warnock, he'd done a video in the change room, and I was in the change room then at Sheffield. And then I saw a recent video of in the tunnel, and you see me going in the change room, and then it kicks off behind me, and we all running back out. So I didn't actually see the whole.
And with the score 0-0 at half-time, there's trouble in the tunnel. What are they doing in here? Fucking Muscat's gone, but there's no better fucking movie. This fucking Muscat's just gone in with fucking face. I know what he's like. Get in!
When Paddy and Muscat got in the thing in the tunnel, but you see me go in the change room just before the melee starts, so I missed it.
But you must have, when you got in the dressing room, I bet you went. No one managed to stick one on Warnock, did they? For me?
No. I was thinking the same thing, but no one did.
Jody, that serves you right for fucking Muscat, that. Serves you right for Muscat, that. Hey, serves you right for fucking Muscat, that. Fucking serves you right with him.
That's the end of that first season. And we'll say you said the highlight was your goal at Upton Park in that first season. We're moving to the second season, and things go a bit south. You still score 5 goals in 25 games in a relegated side.
Yeah,
it was
tough because when Wisey left and they were bringing in managers. I remember Steve Claridge was manager start of the season, and then
So I've got written here managerial merry-go-round. So let's start with Wisey leaving. What do you remember of that?
I just remember Wisey saying that he didn't get back, so and inevitably he would leave. So that's why, and then it kind of from him leaving, it kind of started to fall apart, really.
Yeah, see, a lot. You get some, not a lot. You get some Millwall fans that don't like Dennis Wise, and I've never understood. I never personally understood it. He had ambition, and the chairman wouldn't back him, Theo. So I don't understand what the issue is.
And it's not like we was up there. We were pushing. We were challenging the top 6 spots. So that's what any club want, really.
Yeah, and then as you briefly mentioned there, Steve Claridge, who again is very similar to you in the way that he came Millwall later. Well, not later in your career, as we said, but later on, what's expected career. You've carried on playing, but 32 is sort of footballers maybe a lot coming to the end. A bit of a short impact legend, like scored a lot of goals in a short space of time, and moved on, and then he comes back to the club. I don't even know if he was a player at that point, but he comes to manage the club.
No, he comes manager. Yeah, he came as manager
for about.
I think
for about 25 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I remember we started pre-season and then we went away, and then we come back and then all of a sudden he's Colin League had come in as director of football initially, and then within a week I think he was the manager.
Yeah, I mean, I think this all ties in with Theo leaving and a new chairman coming in, Peter de Savre as well.
Yeah, and I remember we had a period where Jeff Burnage was chairman at one point, and when we was stagnant, we was thinking, what's the club doing? How are we going to get through this? It was a tough time for the players and for the club itself.
Yeah, very, very strange how it all just sort of went that quick. I suppose Theo pulled the plug and then that was that. And you don't always get a winning formula, do you? Like, for find it again first time round. So the Claridge thing, I mean, I remember the appointment and it wasn't, he'd never managed before, but he had a lot of experience. And then, I mean, do you remember him getting introduced to you players as manager or anything like that?
Yeah. He got introduced. I said we went away in pre-season. We went near Portsmouth in an army camp, and he took us there. So he took most of pre-season for us. So
was that like pre-season under him? Was it all right or?
It was tough because naturally he was a fit player, and so he expects maximum fitness. But and then like I say, Colin Lee came in and then became manager.
Yeah, because I remember just wrapping up on Claridge remember one of the reasons I said he's gone already. You're saying pre-season. He come in, he introduced himself. Pre-season was tough. There was no he didn't say let's go down the bookies. He was doing his job.
Yeah.
Apparently, I remember something along the lines of you all went away, or he went away, and he said to one of the youth team players, "Here's my car keys. I've left my car at the airport," and he made him get a cab from the training ground to pick his car up.
Oh, is it?
Do you not remember that? I don't know.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it could have been a rumour, mate. I don't know. But then say Colin Lee comes in until Christmas. What was he like, Colin Lee?
Colin Lee, he was okay. He was probably a bit too old school, but at the time we needed some kind of steadiness, and he bought that.
I remember at the time, Matty Lawrence said he sat in the dugout after one game, and he just said he just thought to himself, "This is fucked. Like, it's gone to bits. There's no saving it." That sort of thing. Did you all have that sort of that sense in the dressing room? I know
it was like that, yeah, and we would, it was like it was inevitable. No matter how the players on the pitch tried, it was inevitable that we were gonna.
So because you still had good players, still had a lot of experience amongst the squad. But it just shows what happened. If something starts happening higher up, it can just one thing can lead to another.
Yeah, we were, and us players, we was amongst it. We were trying to get the best at each other, but inevitably we knew we just had to keep going and see where it got us.
Just wasn't happening, and then Dave Tuttle took over in the new year. Big Tuts. We've heard some great stories on him. What was he like to become Catholic? Because he was actually playing at that point still, I think.
Yeah. I think he just packed up playing. And Tuts was a good manager when he come in and under his resources. He kept the boys buoyant. He kept us with a smile on our face to just try and get us to get the most out of us.
And then once it was pretty much done, mate, you had I think it's Tony Burns and Alan McCleary. They was in for the last couple of games, but it was already the writing was on the wall, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what I'm saying, it's still stuck around and then bounced back. So it's been one hell of a journey.
Yeah, it's never just plain sailing at Millwall. It's either up here or down there. But yeah, as I say, Theo left, Peter de Savre come in. And I say Matty Lawrence come. I said it was a shambles. Andy Marshall said just some really strange things were happening at that time. He said they got in a guy that was like mind over matter sort of guy, and he's like they was doing all like weird healing processes. He said it was just complete.
Yeah.
Place to be.
I'm trying to remember. I was here. It's come in and gone out with me. So yeah, I remember being a part of it. I can't picture the moments itself.
And then you leave the club. We get relegated, and Plymouth come in for you, unmanaged by Ian Holloway. So what level were Plymouth at? But was they going into the champ, or was they in the champ?
They was in the championship. Yeah. They was in the championship. I remember the club more or less said to me that you got to go kind of thing.
Oh really?
Yeah. It was a case of you got to go for the reason best known. You got to go. So I didn't have a choice. I think Plymouth paid 100,000 for me as well, which for a 33-year-old was a bit strange in that. But So it was a case of didn't really from being on my doorstep to 4 hours away.
It's not that you love Millwall that much. You just literally live up the road.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Guess what? I thought they bought you for 100 grand. I thought before I looked into it today, I just assumed that say like it's a long time ago. You just left the club, contracted with us. So you must have signed like at least a 3-year deal at Millwall.
I signed a 3-year contract. Yeah. So I still have another year left. Yeah. But the club was like, we really need you to go. So whoever came in, they would have accepted. Whoever,
What was he like to play under Ian Holloway? Of course, he come to manage me a bit later down the line.
Yeah, I've had a great working relationship with Ian. We're good mates and that. And he signed me 3 times.
Fair enough.
So we've had very good times.
Yeah, see, the Millwall fans don't like him, but every Millwall player we had on that played under him, so loved him.
Yeah. He was a good manager, 100%. He knew how to get the players inside and keep them inside and get the best out of them.
Yeah, who did you get on best with in our dressing room? Was anyone you was like particularly close to, or?
I was close with all the boys. I was close with Jody, Marvin, and Donny as well. We had a few of the boys who come over from Canada, Josh.
We've heard some stories on the. Was it called? What did Danny Ditch say they used to call them? Chuck and a disaster raster or something?
The raster, yeah. So I got on with all the boys.
Yeah. So here's a question I always ask towards the end. If you could go for a night out, Danny loves a bit of bridge bar, by the way, still does. If you could go out tomorrow with 3 of your ex-Millwall teammates, which 3 are you taking with you?
It would be Danny, Jody, and Marv.
Nice.
Marv, yeah.
Tried to get him on Marv. What's he like? He was good for us.
Yeah. Marv, I'm still in contact with Marv and that. Yeah. Marv, top man in that. Yeah. I'll see him. I saw him a few months back.
Let's talk about you. I know you've given me your favourite goal, and you said it was your favourite memory. But if you could come away from that West Ham one, what would you say is your best goal for the club? Technically, I suppose. I'd
say the first one against Gillingham. That was edge of the box, if I remember rightly, and I turned and just shot it right in the bottom corner. But yeah, that was one of, I think, because I hadn't scored yet, and that settled me in. I think. I think that was one of my. I
remember you scored. So watching them all early, you scored a really good one away at Forest. You scored a really good one. It's Dicchio flicks it. You carry on your run. I think you play a little 1-2 in a box or something like that with Deitch.
Deitch, yeah. That was at home, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was at home against I think it was Plymouth.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
probably what got you the 4-hour move down the road.
Yeah.
Take you down the line.
Doorstep. Yeah.
And I always end with the question, your favourite Millwall memory. I know you've given us the goal at West Ham.
But scoring a hat-trick and getting that ball signed and bringing that ball on was one of the best memories.
It's one of I will always remember that day. So thanks from me as well, mate, because that was a fucking great day.
That's one hell of a story, though. Your brother, brilliant, absolutely. Brilliant.
He probably lives in a penthouse in Beckenham now, off the back of the house.
Yeah.
Val, cheers for joining us, mate. Really appreciate your time.
Pleasure, Dan. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Dan. Bye.